All right, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel this week. In light of the holiday, this past Thursday, Thanksgiving, I want to give a little thanks and shout out at the top of the video here to new subscribers, specifically Des Watson 71. Thank you, man, for subscribing and commenting on the last video. At this point in my YouTube career, every single subscriber, every comment counts and really lets me know that I'm putting something out there that's connecting with somebody, and that means a lot. So thank you, Des. All right, for this week's video, I want to talk about my clip log and what that is. That is a organizational process that I've been using to keep track of all of the footage that I shoot that I want to eventually pull from to put into my film. And it's really a pretty simple process, but it's just one that is time consuming, but is important. And I actually use AI to help me with it. So interfacing with technology to progress. And what it is basically is just a simple document where after a shoot, after a long shoot day, I go through and I review all of the footage that I have. And then I break down like what happened in this clip. What does it look like? Where was it shot? What was the time of the day? What were the lighting conditions? Where do I think it can be used? And that type of thing. And I've found since I'm doing this solo that using AI, specifically in this case, Chat GPT, is kind of like having a knowledgeable crew member or something. At least that's how I use Chat GPT in this process for the clip log. I will screen grab a shot from something that I've shot and I'll submit it to Chat GPT and I'll say, like, look at this. Tell me technical aspects of the lighting. What are the lighting conditions here? What's the potential use, the mood, the symbolism, these different things. Then I'll just bounce that off of, myself and my own interpretation of it. And I'll be like, yeah, I either kind of agree with that or I don't. Either way, then I have a very long log of every image that I've shot for the film. So like I'll pull one up here and I'll show you like clip log 406. Yes, I do have 440 of these. And I just finished my last one from the last shoot, which is why I'm talking about it this week. But 406, we've got the file name there, location, subject, Penny's house, front view. Shot type, static tripod. Lighting, time of day, it's 2:43. It's bright direct sun, clean midday desert light. Mood, texture, symbolism, stark, exposed, utilitarian, conveys isolation, self sufficiency, and the plain spoken reality of life on the ranch. I would agree with that. Potential use, establishing shot of the home, could anchor a sequence introducing Penny's living environment before moving into more intimate or textural details. I'd agree with that as well. Objective analysis, a clean, centered, establishing shot with strong informational value, stable, readable, and honest to the ranch's setting. Composition is simple but effective, though the flat front angle limits that depth and emotional tone. Structurally useful, even if not the most expressive image in the set. Which again, I would agree with. Number 410, desert clearing with a half-buried, decayed wooden box container in foreground. Now, I shot this as a static tripod shot because I just found it to be very evocative, sitting out here in the desert, this empty box. 410, hard, late afternoon, desert light, high contrast. The mood and texture, symbolism, bleak, sun-blasted emptiness, an abandoned object half swallowed by sand, suggesting erosion, neglect in the desert, consuming human traces. Clean horizon line and dry scrub create a classic Mojave desolation atmosphere, which I agree with. A lot of that is exactly why I shot this image. The Mojave desolation atmosphere, kind of the desert consuming human traces. I'll submit that to ChatGPT and it articulates kind of what was in my head when I grabbed this. And then it says a few other things, but then I'll read that and that helps me learn as I go. Because with an image, I might look at it and just know generally, like, man, I really like this. It feels evocative to me. It feels like it's conveying sort of an emotional feeling that I'm going for. But then a technical perspective, it'll tell me it's like the ground is bright but not blown out. The highlights on the box retain detail. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I see that that's true. And then that's, one more thing I learn as I go. So This process has been really helpful for me to just keep everything organized, all my footage. So now my next step is kind of going back through all this stuff and then seeing where I can fit it into the script. But that's where I am this week. And I just thought I'd share a little bit about, one more way I go about this filmmaking thing on my own. All right. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. Peace.